Everything is always surrounded the horse. There are times when I have made absolutely right-hand turns, left-hand turns, but I don't reverse. I just believe you go forward. I got started with horses around age 10. My brother started riding, and of course his little sister did everything he did. It was a lot of experimenting and a lot of hanging out with the horses. Where I started riding was a rent stable in Canoga Park, California. The teacher was an old cavalry man, and he started getting us into a drill team and gymnastics. And then we started doing parades. Then we moved into jumping. I failed off at every lesson, and one day he said to me, if you fall off today, you will never jump again. And I stayed on. Then as I moved along, I was able to get a horse of my own. His name was Sprite, his Pinto. He was a rent horse, but he kept running off with everyone. I spent more time washing him, grooming him, painting his feet with bacon grease, if you can imagine, that my mother would save for me. And he was my very best friend. We started going to little shows, went into the jumpers, and we did great. And at one point, I entered a puissance, if you can imagine. I was probably 14. I crashed right through it at 6'8". As that was happening, I said, there's some information I'm missing. It just went through my head that this was not working out the way it should, and it was a defining moment. So as I moved forward and got older, I rode horses for other professionals. I was just about to go back to school. K-Love, out of Tucson, Arizona, had brought a horse into the barn where I had been riding, and they needed a rider for him. It was made in heaven. We just clicked. And so I never went back to school. Fleet Apple was an amazing horse. He won everything. I say he because basically I had to remember the course, stay out of his way. It was just an incredible experience, my first really big-time horse. At that time, I did set up as a trainer and started just doing clients and getting horses and training, just like every young professional would do.
It's a funny story how I came to know DiAnn. I moved to California, and there's this lady riding around these gigantic horses, and she's winning everything. And I'm like, how does she do that? So then I had to ask her, how do you do that? And she goes, I train them. Into subject.
At that time, I had several other horses coming along in the jumper ranks, and they went on to be superstars themselves with Danny and Fateful and a couple others that were just won all the time through the 70s.
She had to dig deep and fight and play against the big guys on her thoroughbreds and maybe scrappier horses, but she would go out there and be fierce and win.
At that time, all of the other professionals took care of the young professionals. Ben O'Mara, he taught me a lot about the chute. Also, Rodney Jenkins taught me a lot about horsemanship. Pamela Crothers and Bert DeNimothy, they were just amazing professionals. Clyde Kennedy at that time, Barbara Worth in California. One of the greatest inspiration was a Western trainer named Mac Lynn, who taught me how to turn faster. So I had my riding career. Then I had my daughter, Kristen Coe, and I went from riding immediately into business. I was at Los Angeles Equestrian Center for 26 years, from the day they opened till the day I left. And when I did that, it was because I decided one day it was time for me to see who else I could become, what else I could do. My dearest friend, Terry Boer, she and I decided we're going to breed. We're going to be foolish and breed. So we moved from California to South Carolina, right there outside of Aiken, and we started breeding. In 2013, my daughter Kirsten says, I think you should apply for this job. I think you qualify for this job. And it was for the young rider, youth chef to keep for the USEF. And I've been there, this is the end of my 11th year, so 11 years.
DiAnn's role in the show jumping athlete pathway has been vast over the several years. She has been the chef to keep for some teams in Europe, and she's also served as the USHJA technical advisor. She's helped with pony jumpers, pre-to-states, North American Youth Championships, Zone 10 selection trials, US children's and junior teams at Deer Ridge and Langley, and the Youth Equestrian Games. So she's really run the gamut.
It was something that I felt needed to be done to help youth understand where we were going. I think that teams teach you so much more than just how to win a medal.
Knowing DiAnn as long as I have, she has so many skills and strengths. One of her skills is bringing along the up-and-coming younger rider. She is a master at it. She can encourage someone, guide them, let them know what the process is, how the process goes, step by step.
So whatever team you're on with DiAnn, whether it's a team in Europe or a jump off for a zone jumper team championship, she's always there with you 100% behind you with the same standard of excellence and fever to win. She's always thinking about the next step and how can we make this better and what's next and how can we provide more opportunities for these youth athletes, and she truly lives and breathes it.
This last part of my journey is to get the kids on board, get them educated about what their responsibility is going to be to the horse, and the understanding of the history of the horse and how it was so important to civilization. And therefore, if we don't protect that horse and have horse sport, we will have no horses.
Without DiAnn and her passion and strive to create all these opportunities for youth, we wouldn't be where we are today with these teams and future athletes. Several of our senior team riders now started out on teams with DiAnn, and I think it's that first time team experience and really having a positive introduction to the team, which DiAnn has provided for so many of these younger generations moving up.
She has taught me indirectly so much. She has shown me how to be so enthusiastic in this sport. She has shown me how to be competitive at the weakest moments. And she's taught me so much by allowing me to observe and ask questions, which all young professionals should start to do, ask questions.
To win the Lifetime Achievement Award from the USHJA is such an honor. It's been an incredible journey, and I am just so humbled by this award. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to have people recognize your journey. And I can't thank them enough. It's just unbelievable.